Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. This is my first channel and I wanted to talk to you about my journey to become a flight attendant. I just got my CJO and they're actually running a background check on me right now as we speak, and I should start training in February if everything goes well. I say that because, like all of you, we don't just apply to one airline. We apply to many at the same time. And it's exciting. It's a very strenuous, stressful process. And with that said, it made me even more motivated because every time I would get a TBNB, for those that don't know what that means, it's thank you but no thank you. You either take your loss and, like a puppy, put your tail between your legs and go home and kind of feel sorry about yourself, or it makes you stronger and you want to learn maybe more about the company or get a different approach. And so I'm going to help those that are in my shoes that have been trying to get the CJO, which is a contingency job offer. And so for those that are wanting one, or you're frustrated and can't get one, and we've all been there, and a lot of your videos have helped me, a lot of flight attendant videos have helped me, and so I wanted to do the same for you guys. So I'm going to do a bunch of little videos. I'm not going to cover everything today, but I do want to start out by letting you know that my journey started probably 30 years ago. I'm in my mid-40s right now. And so I wanted to let people know that there's no age to become a flight attendant. You could be 20 or 21, depending on which airline. You could be in your 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s. I've seen people in their 60s. I've seen one in their 70s. Yeah, there is no age limit. Just know that if that's a dream that you want to pursue, you go for it. Don't take no for an answer, and you just pursue your dream and you make it happen. Now, it's not going to happen overnight. What I mean by that is, for those that have been in the industry and for those that know the jargon, the vocabulary, for those that have been in school, the transition is not as bad. But for those like me that have been a stay-at-home mom for the last 10 years, raising my children, I have 3, it's been a challenge because getting back in the workforce, although I was, I did own a company which I ran from my house, it's not the same as if you are working out there in the workforce and you have a lot of coworkers and you go to work every day and your brain gets stimulated every day. So for me, it was very challenging because I had to learn how to speak again, like for an interview. I had to learn how to be sociable. Not that I'm not, I am super sociable. I love people, but being in an environment with a lot of people for the interview, and I had to relearn all that. And so that was really hard. I never had to work so hard prior to this was the hardest thing ever, and I think this is just the beginning because I hear the process of the training is very strenuous and very stressful. So part of me is looking forward to it, and the other part of me is a little nervous. So it's all the unknown. That's why I want you guys to follow me and follow my journey to becoming a flight attendant in my 40s with 3 children. Maybe I might relocate. There's just so many decisions to make prior to become a flight attendant, and thankfully I have a great support system. My husband is on board with this. He's gonna help me out. My mom is coming down from Canada, and my in-laws as well are gonna help out when my mom is not around. So I have a big plan. I've been planning this, so we've been talking about it, and it was just a question of when I was gonna get the CJO and which company. So with this said, I apologize for the mess in the back. I usually put something in the back, but I just wanted to do this quickly and get my channel started. And so I'm really excited to share with you all my process and how I got started. So I started as a ticketed agent. I was working for a major airline, and I did that for about a year before I got pregnant. So this was back in 2007. So, I was introduced to the airport code, and that helped out a little bit just to understand the system, but that was a long time ago. So it's over 10 years. I've been off and, ran my company and now decided to go back. I applied for Southwest, so I was really excited about that. I thought I had it in the bag. Hey, I used to work for the airport. I understand a little bit what it, what it entails, and so I'm gonna do this. So I first got the phone interview, which I passed, and then I was asked to fly. Where did I fly again? Southwest. I forgot. But anyways, I'm still trying to remember it. And then they flew me to do an interview, which I will link below how it went. I think you get to see my journey to the entire process from the time that I flew in the morning, had the interview, and flew back. And so, unfortunately, I thought it had gone really well. I was confident. I remember looking around and people were not dressed the way I was. So that made me stand out. I don't know if it's in a good way or a bad way, but I know I definitely learned from that moment that maybe dressing up a little different and looking the part would have helped me a lot more, and anticipating questions, because I had not done any research. So I went in there blindly. I read about the company, but I didn't read about what kind of questions they may ask. I just thought, you know what, I'll just use my experience from the past and just bring it, and I'm ready for anything. So I went in pretty confident, left very confident. Fortunately, I got a thank you, but no thank you. And that devastated me because I thought I had done really, really well. So I was in shock, to say the least, and I'm like, oh, okay. Maybe I was overly confident, and maybe that's probably what, I don't know. You're not supposed to go in too confident is what I realized, because when you're too confident, you're basically letting them know that, hey, I got this, I know this, there's nothing you can teach me. And I think it could come across as a little cocky. And I think that's probably what happened to me. And I learned from it, definitely. So before I even reapplied, it took me almost, another 6 months, because I was just devastated. So, there are two ways that this could have gone. I could have taken my loss and just be like, I don't want to do this anymore, it's not for me. Or I could have just said, you know what, I'm going to work harder and see where I went wrong. I just wanted to tell you guys this. For 6 months, I kept on beating myself up. I called everybody and said, I don't understand. I said, I answer the questions perfectly. I don't know why they didn't like me. I don't understand. It just kept on bugging me. Because the people that I made friends with that day during the interview, though, face-to-face, they were just like me. They were talking about, what questions they may be asked, and everybody was like, I believe they were prepared the way I was prepared. So obviously I wasn't prepared, but I was able to answer questions, and so I don't know. So I was frustrated. And you look around, and the people you think that will never get it did get it, and the people that you knew they were going to get it because they were flight attendant, they didn't get it. And I'm like, what? I made friends with a flight attendant, and she texted me. She's like, I'm sorry, I got the letter that said, TBNT. Thank you, but no thank you. And then I'm like, are you serious? You're a flight attendant? And they said that to you? And I'm like, wow, that's really. So I remember being in shock when I heard that. Anyways, so for 6 months, first I was in denial. I'm like, there's no way, it's their loss, blah, blah, blah. And then I came to the realization, maybe there's something I'm doing wrong. Sure enough, there was. I wasn't using the STAR format. If you guys don't know what the STAR format is, trust me, just Google STAR, situation. Basically you talk about your task, your action, and the result. So it's the way that you format your answer. They are looking for that specific format, and if you do not use that, you will not get through. I have tried, trust me, thinking that I could do this on my own. If you do not master STAR, you will not go through the job interview. So when I figured that out, I started researching and trying to figure out how I can answer questions, but not my way, but the STAR way. So I started practicing. Now, it wasn't obvious, it was very hard. And so it took a lot of repetition, and I had to say it out loud, which I kind of look like a weirdo at home. I remember sitting down just repeating the same questions over and over again and answering the same question, but then I would answer it and it wouldn't make sense. So I would restructure my answer and try to, put the action and put the results in there. What was the result? And then I came across a book. Now this book, you can buy it online, which I did. And it took me about 4 hours to read it, and I took my time reading it. And there's all the possible questions that they can ask you for airline and the possible answers. Now, I will do a video about this book. That book saved my life. It showed me, it's funny because it would ask you a question and it would give you 3 different possible answers. And you basically pick the one that you think you should answer. Now, I got 0 on every answers. Every time I would read the question, I would say, oh, I would have said A. Sure enough, A was wrong. Then I would read another question and I would say, oh, the answer is C for sure. No, it wasn't. It was B. So that comes to, I was like, you know what? I was answering these wrong then. I was doing this totally wrong. So the book kind of shows you not only the proper way of saying it, but what you should have said. So light bulb, boom. I'm like, I need to study. I need to word it the right way. And now I read the book and I was answering. I could like actually find which answers were proper for the question. So I finally figured out what it is that they needed. It's kind of like a formula. If you don't have that formula, you will not get through. So that is my secret. I will not link the book, but I will make a video about that. So stay tuned, definitely. I'm just excited to share my knowledge with you guys. The minute that I finished the book, I went for another interview for a regional airline and I got a CJO. So I'm starting training. It was supposed to be in January and I pushed it for February because I have my mom flying down, which will, she'll be taking care of my kids. So we have a lot of things to set up before we start. And it was like right around the corner. We're in December and right away she, they told me you're going to start training. So that's exciting, and I decided to go ahead and apply with other airlines because I wanted to practice, because I do have a preference when it comes to an airline, and there's one that I'm eyeballing, and that's the one that I want the most. So I figured a little practice will not hurt. So let me see if I can answer questions and see how I can do and see if it works. And sure enough, I have done maybe 4 interviews so far with 4 different airlines. I all got the face-to-face with them. And again, thanks to this book, and also, and thanks to me studying, because it's obvious you can read any book and then not learn from it, but you gotta study, you gotta kind of put that in practice, And so, anyway, so from there, I haven't gotten any CJO from the face-to-face, but I just finished one yesterday. I don't know if I should tell you which ones. And there's a major, huge airline that I am presently heading to the face-to-face with. So I'm really excited about that because that's the one that I'm really eyeballing right now. So I'm in a dilemma that a lot of flight attendants, future flight attendants are in, where you apply, you kind of get 2-3 CJOs, and then you basically have to pick which training will be best for you. Now, obviously, you have to look at the base, and you have to look at, commuting, and you have to look at, if you don't get the base, where is it going to be? Is it far? How do you get there? How can you get there? What's their schedule? What planes are they flying? Are they small? Are they big? What's the company's reputation? How long do you see yourself working for them, and all that stuff? So I will make another video about that, and I will also make a video with all the companies that I have interviewed with, just to kind of give you an idea of the process and how it went. But this is my first video, and I just wanted to let you know what helped me to answer all the questions. And oh, by the way, that is my second daughter, my middle child, Eliana. Hello. And so, yeah, I mean, and what it entails when you have children, and also when you're in your 40s, can you still do this? How do you manage to do this? And I just want to tell everybody, if you have a dream, go for it. It doesn't matter how old you are, and like I said, I've been wanting to do this for a long time, but I couldn't because I had a family, and it's hard to leave a baby. And then I had another one and another one, so I have 3 kids. So it got very challenging, and so I decided to make this video for people like me, because I remember asking myself questions like, how do they do it with kids? Like, where do you start? How do you introduce that idea to your spouse, and what kind of help can you get? And I remember I couldn't find any videos about that, so I'm hoping that I can help people that are going through what I'm going through. They could be in their 20s, but they have children and still think it could be really hard, and how to go about doing it and organizing yourself. So I still don't have the answers. I'm going through the process, so I would love to document my journey. especially now that I got the CJO, and I won't start for another, like I said, February, and we're in December, so another 2 months. I was supposed to start January, early January, but I have pushed the date today. So I sent an email letting them know I'm still interested, but I can't do it now, which will give me more time to kind of pursue the other airline that I was interested in, and also to see you know, the result of my other airlines. And I just want to have some options and see what is the best fit for me. So, but with this said, thank you. I hope you hit the button subscribe and you know, kind of check out my journey and follow me. I would love to share with you all what happened to me, and you know, how the training is gonna go, and you know, and when I do become a flight attendant, just so that you guys can follow me to different places that I'll be traveling. Hopefully some interesting ones, international ones, and you know, even the regionals. They fly to Canada and Mexico and whatnot. So I would love to have as many followers as I can to help out and to kind of like answer questions that you may have. So, all right, thank you all. Thank you for following me, and hit the subscribe button below. And I hope this was very informative, and I want to make another video about that book that I was telling you about. And yeah, so hope to, you know, see you guys and answer questions. If I do end up having a blog, I would love to blog about that as well, you know, and answer your questions that you may have. So, love you all, and good luck to everyone. CJO, CJO, CJO. Bye, everyone.